So tell me about, like you called this Grant Hill person that his random friends came up to you and gave you his number.
It was like a industry party or something, and then your friends came up, and I thought it was quite weird and awkward, and they were like, yeah, my boy's on the phone, you want to talk to him? And I was just like, this is weird, but okay. And then we just kind of spoke on the phone and agreed to speak later, right?
She was at a party.
Yeah.
And literally, at a party there's noise, and so we're on the phone, and I don't know how she thought it was me.
Right.
But I did. I had crazy game. So,
oh my God.
So my lyrics were just, they were on point.
Just saying. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you all out to a musical extravaganza called the Night and Day Project. Please save your applause to me. Do it because I love living. Hear me though.
When you think about Black love, you think about a handful of iconic couples, and you guys are the top of that list. And it's partly because you've been together as long as you have. What, 21, 22?
Yeah, 22 years this month.
Oh. Yeah. 22 years.
19 years married in July.
19 years married, 22 years together. You're obviously adorable, like individually, but even more just gorgeous together.
Thank
so,
you.
We like that.
Thank you.
And add to that, as we talked about a little earlier, you guys are pretty private. Nobody knows many of the things we're going to share tonight.
Uh-oh. Because we haven't seen this either.
Right. We did the interview a long time ago.
Yeah, like last summer.
Yeah, and so they don't actually remember what they said. But we do. So I do want to start with how you guys met, how you were introduced to the idea of each other. Because somebody put a little nugget in both of your ears.
Yes.
You want me to tell it?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
So oh God.
It's kind of a long story. Wait. So
there's your story. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, there's a couple different versions of the story. So Isaiah Thomas. You guys know who Isaiah Thomas is? Pistons. So it was his jersey retirement ceremony in Detroit, and Anita Baker was there to sing the national anthem. And after the game, there was a little reception, and so Anita was being nosy and asking me about my love life. And I was just like, I just can't find the right person, and you got to hook me up. And I was just, just being silly with her and her husband. So I think like a week later, she saw you at the Soul Train Music Awards, and then found out Tamia was from Windsor, which is right close to Detroit. So she kind of planted the seed.
Yeah. She came up to me, and I'm a huge Anita Baker fan. And so Anita Baker's coming up to me at the Soul Train Music Awards. I'm like, yes, you know my name. And she's like, Tamia, I know this guy that would be perfect for you. His name is Grant Hill. And I was just like, this is so strange. And then that was really it. That was really all she said. She kind of just dropped his name and put his name in my spirit, I guess. And then we ended up meeting a couple months later, I guess.
Wait a minute. We got a clip for that.
Uh-oh.
It's crazy that we actually ended up together. So my boys, they're kind of, some of them are living with me, some of them are living in Detroit, but they all grew up with me. And so the one night they want to go out, and I don't go. And so they go out, they go to this after party, and then one of my boys calls me from the party and said, hey man, you should have come through, blah, blah, blah. We had a good time, and there's a lot going on. Hey, Tamia's here. So I said, okay, give her my number and keep so-and-so away from her. And so that's what I instructed my friend to do. I said, but just give her because first of all, I didn't think she would really call, because how do you know it's me?
Yeah.
Some dudes come up and say, hey, so-and-so's on the phone, put you in, give it to her. So I just kind of thought nothing of it, whatever, okay, fine. So then later that night, she calls. And then we ended up talking pretty much all the way till the morning. Yeah, it was interesting. The timing of when we met, like in May, which was sort of the end of the basketball season, or the end of my team didn't go too far in the playoffs. So it was the end of the season. And then we still, even during the season, I felt like we saw each other a lot. She would come to Detroit. I would I don't even know how I did it. I would literally after practice, take a flight from Detroit to LA and get to LA at 4:30, 5 o'clock, then hang out, go out to eat, and then take a red eye back to Detroit and then be in practice the next morning.
Yeah.
So I definitely want you guys to share a little bit about that party night and you calling him. But I love that clip because it shows what a man is willing to do when he's serious. I love that clip. So tell me about, you called this Grant Hill person that his random friends came up to you and gave you his number.
It was like a industry party or something, and I was actually very tired. I'd gone to visit my family in Windsor, and the person who was running it said, I was hosting some singing night it was like a Motown talent search or something, and they were like, we have this little party, we want you to come over. And, I don't know, Windsor is like the border, right, of Detroit, so I'd have to go through customs and do all that stuff, and I was kind of like, no, I don't feel like it. And he was like, you should come, so I was like, fine. So I went, and then your friends came up, and I thought it was quite weird and awkward, and they were like, yeah, my boy's on the phone. You want to talk to him? And I was just like, this is weird, but okay. And then we just kind of spoke on the phone and agreed to speak later, right?
She was at a party.
Yeah.
And literally, at a party there's noise, and so we're on the phone, and I don't know how she thought it was me.
Right.
But I had crazy game. So,
oh my God.
So my lyrics were just, they were on point. And so, she called me later that night. How would she know though it's me? Imagine if you're out and about and somebody just comes up and says, I'm joking when I say that, first of all, I had no game, but somebody gives you a phone and says, this is so-and-so.
Yeah,
you have no idea that that's that person. And that's what I meant by that. And so she called, and we spoke for, hours.
Yeah.
And then we went out on a date the next day. Went to the movies, and then we went to have lunch.
Yep.
And
early.
I've
early because first date, you gotta go.
Yeah, early dinner. And so I purposely left my wallet.
Was it on purpose?
Well, yeah. I pretend. Well, anyway, I didn't have any money.
Yeah. That's true.
And so I wanted to see what would happen. And we didn't have to do dishes.
No, I was like, get whatever you want. What do you want? Get whatever you want.
Yeah, so she paid for it.
And he's been paying ever since.
I've been paying ever since. Yes, sir.
I got the first one. You got life.
Wait, you literally left it? What if she was like, nah, I'm out? What would you do?
Yeah, no, I had my wallet because you got to go across customs.
Okay.
But I just left it in my car. Just, I don't know. I was just seeing what she would do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was a little irresponsible back then. So yes.
Well, so one of the reasons that we feel, having created the show, that it's really important to tell the how did you meet, right? Is because the show itself is about marriage and how to make a marriage work, but I think that a lot of times we feel like the meeting, the dating process has to be perfect. Everything has to happen a certain way. And so we just like to share, those sorts of stories where things don't always go right, or really just the nuance of whatever each couple has gone through. And then also deciding, how do you decide that this person is the one? One of the things you said in the trailer was she's attractive, you're compatible, and she can cook. What were the things for you two that made you like, oh, I could actually be with this person forever?
We've watched that trailer a lot, and then there was a second half of that where I set him up. I can't really cook. I just made one thing.
Wait. You never admitted that to us.
Oh, really? That was the whole thing.
He insinuated.
Let me just tell you. We were I remember we were in Bel Air, and she made this bomb French toast. And I was like, wow, I could marry her. And I haven't seen that French toast since.
He even asked the kids, like, have mom make that French toast. The kids are like, no, we don't even like French toast, so. But that was it. That's all I could.
But you didn't tell us. Like, he said that, but you made
You
it
pretended
seem
like it was
No,
just
I
that.
definitely can't cook. We don't.
She was already.
Got him, coach.
Yeah.
She was already in there.
Yeah, my cooking skills are not good at all. I can make a few things like breakfast, but I don't know. Like, I think we said in the documentary, like, it wasn't like I was thinking, I want to get married, I want to find someone. I was kind of starting in my career, and we were just really dating, and we really just enjoyed spending time with each other, and it was easy and fun, and we were both kind of just relaxed around each other, and I think that's kind of, it just evolved.
What made you want to go to LA every other day or every couple of days while you were practicing?
Well, no, it wasn't every other. I mean, it was.
That would be way too.
Yeah, it was a lot. No, but I mean, it was tough. I mean, we met in the summer. We spent a lot of time. I was in California. You were here for the Olympics, so we were in Atlanta. This was summer of '96, and then I went back before the season started. And spent some time, and then you went and did a movie for like 2 or 3 months in the Caribbean, Speed 2. And so we went a long period without seeing each other. And so, when you're a basketball player, the season just consumes you. And so, obviously, Tamia would come out to visit in Detroit, and her family was nearby. But there's some wolves out there in LA, so I had to go out there and just. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to just make sure she remembers my face, you know what I'm saying? And but I mean, I think, seriously though, when you're, I guess we're at that point, I mean, it did just sort of happen. Well, it's funny. So we met and we hung out in Detroit. Then I went out to LA. And then at some point, and it's always at that point where okay, what are we? Where are you going? So I remember a couple of things. One, we're in LA, and she had a Range Rover, and we're driving around all the time, and Toni Braxton's album was out. And she would always sing, I love me some him. And so I'm like, all right, she's trying to, like, what is she, but she's always singing, so like, I'm not. And so at one point I was just like, I think we were getting ready for the Olympics, and I remember calling her, and I was like, so, just let's just define what this is. Like, am I just your Detroit piece? Like, what's the deal?
Those exact words.
And I said it right, exact words. And so at that, I can't believe I said that. But I did say that. But no, I mean, I think fast forward, just when you fall in love and you want to be with that person. Like, I didn't think either, like, I would want to be married. We were young. She was 21, I was 23. I thought I would, go the Derek Jeter route. Like, that was, date and just have fun and wait till I was done playing. And, so it didn't necessarily go according to script. But that sounds me.
Your script is much better.
Yeah, this script is better. But no, it just happens. It happened, and you want to be with that person. You want to, you miss her. So you'll go to those lengths.
I think if you want to know, I'm putting in all this effort, what is this? Right. Before we keep going any further, we're both going out of our way for each other. Where is this going?
Yeah, I find it interesting because we didn't know this, that you said, where is this going?
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
When a man knows what he wants. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
no,
I do want to point out, though, that we meet a lot of couples, but a lot of the times we do find the woman either A, introduces herself, or speaks to the man first, or B, says, hey, I'm not just dating you to date you. Like, I'm serious about settling down. So I do like to share that too, because a lot of times we have a lot of women that watch our show, and so I think it's important for us to feel empowered too, but I also think it's adorable.
Well, let me just, I said that and I was kind of being funny, but it did feel natural from the time we met. And that was what was interesting, because at least for me, I hadn't felt that way. So from that very first date, from that first conversation and everything afterwards, it just felt right. I don't know if there was ever a point where we were like, you're my girl, can we go steady or whatever? You know, it just kind of was, if that makes sense.